I'm currently working on a code rewrite of the Scratch game I'm developing, Pushi's World. During this rewrite, I decided to upgrade Pushi's physics, and more importantly, his hitbox. As you can see, this hitbox appears to be very complex. However, I'll get into what it all means so you can understand exactly what's going on when you play the game for yourself. Also, before we get started, I'd like to thank you all for the support on the last video and getting my channel to 500 subscribers. We're halfway to 1,000, and I hate to be a sub beggar, but could we reach 600 subscribers by 2025? Anyways, let's get into how this hitbox works. This hitbox can be split into 3 parts: the body, the feet, even though Pushi doesn't actually have feet, and the other stuff. Let's start by explaining the body and the feet. These 2 hitboxes get the most work done and are also easier explained together. First of all, I should mention that the shape of these hitboxes isn't accurate. No, they aren't triangles, but actually, they are just a few points placed relative to Pushi's X and Y position. I draw the hitbox looking like this because there's no way that a tile could get in between any one of these points, so the hitbox is effectively this. Anyways, as Pushi moves around, these points will check to see if they're touching a tile. If they are, some math is done to reposition Pushi so the point aligns with the edge of the tile. The main difference between these 2 hitboxes is that, if Pushi's moving up at all, Pushi's feet hitbox, aka the bottom 4 pixels of Pushi's main hitbox, don't do their collision checks. This allows for Pushi to keep full speed when they barely graze a block moving upwards. Thanks to this lenient collision system, the player will feel more in control of the character, something I want them to feel with every aspect of Pushi's movement. Now, let's move on to these other little hitboxes. First of all, this blue one. This blue one is actually a ceiling clipping hitbox. This is similar to the feet hitbox, except rather than disabling collision, it simply snaps Pushi out of the tile. Basically, if this hitbox isn't touching a tile, then Pushi will get snapped out of the tile in that direction. This hitbox actually starts from the top center of Pushi's body hitbox, and the direction it points is based on Pushi's direction. So it's very easy to make Pushi clip or not clip on an edge when they want. An alternative way of thinking about this goes as follows. The region highlighted in blue is Pushi's effective ceiling hitbox, while the part shaded gray doesn't detect ceilings, but only pushes Pushi away from tiles. Finally, let's talk about this green hitbox. This hitbox is actually the range in which Pushi checks whether or not he can wall slide. I did this check rather than having the player move towards the wall like in the previous version. This is because when I had kids at school playtest the game, they would get stuck in the wall jumping section. By making this change, the player pretty much just has to time their jumping well rather than having to switch movement directions, which is pretty difficult to do. Anyways, back to the hitbox. If one of these hitboxes detects a tile, then a variable gets set to allow for Pushi to wall slide. I should note that this function is actually more complex than it is. It actually has a patch to one-sided wall jumps. I might explain that in the next episode of this Devlog series. Who knows? And that's how Pushi's hitbox works in my Scratch game. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Devlog. If you have any questions about my game and how I'm making it, I'd like to answer them either in the comments or an entire video of their own if they're interesting enough. I'm already planning on making a video about Pushi's physics, which will be whenever I finish the player physics engine. Anyways, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.